the grand stage to keep possession alive.
Huge bid, gets the target.
Great opportunity for the Germans, and they break with ease.
Throw it the full 80 yards to the field? Are you kidding me?
And an incredible catch.
You are kidding me!
Oh my God!
One of the plays of the year!
Hey, up here. Welcome, everybody, to our open final here at the 2025 Canadian Ultimate Championships. Everybody's here in a sunny Edmonton, Alberta at the Ouvert Sports Complex for our finals matchup between Toronto's GOAT in dark and Montreal Mephisto in the white and blue. My name is Clay Howlett. I'm here with the one and only Etienne Fournier to call this game. Etienne, I'm pretty excited.
Eh bien, on est vraiment très enthousiaste. C'est une immense rivalité qui anime ces deux équipes. Mephisto de Montréal contre la bande de Toronto, GOAT. Et ça, depuis plusieurs années, les deux équipes ont eu un excellent parcours pour se rendre jusqu'à cette finale. Montréal n'a pas encore perdu un match au cours de cette édition 2025 de ce championnat national, alors que GOAT a subi une seule défaite et c'était contre General Strike de Winnipeg. Ils ont perdu par un seul petit point.
Non, mais aussi Furious George.
Yes, right. Montréal qui a battu aussi Furious George pour accéder à cette grande finale hier là, dans une victoire sans équivoque par le pointage de 15-5, sans équivoque et un peu surprenante de l'avis de plusieurs observateurs, tandis que GOAT a perdu un match lors du reclassement là, du 8e de finale contre General Strike, mais ils se sont très bien repris en défaisant ces mêmes General Strike lors de la demi-finale. Les 2 points se sont terminés par les deux matchs, à vrai dire, se sont terminés par un seul petit point de différence. Mephisto à votre droite, habillé en blanc, bleu, pâle, tandis que GOAT arborera les maillots noirs à votre gauche. So, Clay, do we know who will begin on offense, on defense? I'm not sure.
No, we're waiting to see that. We've got Observer Chassis there carrying the game disc on the other side of the field. And what they do is they'll actually hold on to it and not give it to the defense until they have 90 seconds to pull to keep us totally on time. From what I can tell, it's making its way down to Mephisto's line. So I do believe Mephisto will be starting on D. But you know what? I've been wrong about that constantly. So yeah, wrong constantly. Hashtag. But I'm not too worried about it. It will tell the stories of the breaks and everything. But both these teams are teams of depth. Mephisto has just been, how should I put this, consistent on everything they're doing. I don't want to say perfect. Teams make mistakes, but Mephisto has done everything right on both lines all the time this weekend for, their squad, and it has been pretty amazing to watch. So whether they're starting on offense and defense, I don't think they really care, frankly.
And just before we move on with additional commentary, I don't know if our cameraman can point out the circle of bottles for Mephisto. We just witnessed Iris just line it up their bottle before the game.
Yep.
While Mephisto just put a little circle with the cones. You're not looking for your bottles. I wonder what's the consequence if you don't put your bottles in there.
I mean, yeah.
Push-ups?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a few nearby. En français, c'est un bon effort.
C'est un très bel effort.
Très bel effort.
Impressionnant. Great discipline from the sideline for the Montreal-based team. So, yeah, Goat, tons of athleticism, amazing handling skills. Their loss against General Strike, they were leading by 2, I believe 11-9, but they lost 13-12 against the G Strike from Winnipeg. They were able to avenge their loss later in the semifinal with a 1-point win.
Well, there's the horn. Mephisto is starting on defense. You see them with the disc. This pull will land in bounds. Goat starting on offense. Seagal flips that to the middle. Kamire. Up the gut. No one covered underneath. Slatic has some options. Back from Lewis. Goat in a vertical now. Robinson. Sticks with Slatic. Goat showing some efficiency to get this moving quick. Wilkie Lewis flips it to the middle. Lots of movement in front of the stack here, sticking around for options. Very familiar offense. If you've watched Goat play before, this is pretty standard of lots of movement in the front of the stack until a cutter can set up a continue. But Mephisto playing some really tight men and forcing Goat to move backwards, but that IO break gets it all the way around to McRae. Goat at about 15 yards out, wants something up the line, jump step from Kamire, and then the quick toss to Zlatic. So the hold for Goat, 1-0. Etienne, I imagine we're going to see that set of personnel quite a bit for Goat in this game. For those of you that have been watching Goat for a long time, you'll recognize there's players senior age, players master's age playing out there and doing what they're known for.
Flawless execution from Goat squad, just taking time. You see they've lost almost 20 yards by resetting. They went back to their brick mark where they were at midfield. So taking their time, just valuing the disc. And while the Montreal's defense was just grinding on a 1-to-1 defense, but it was a point that, I don't know, 25, maybe 20, 30 passes, approximately, roughly. So that's what you want when you're playing defense. Maybe we didn't get the block, but we forced them to throw lots
you
of
do.
disc.
At this level, you know, you've got your two top teams in the tournament. Well, I mean, you might as well call it that. They both earned their spot here, right?
They are.
So they are the top two teams in the tournament. And in conditions like we have right now, it's very sunny, it's hot, it's not really gusting at all. 20 or 30 throws is no big deals for these guys, but you certainly don't want to get scored on in 4 passes.
Ligue offensive montréalaise en action. Brissette qui sonne la charge. Fait la réception de service de Lemieux, plein cœur du terrain. C'est Éloire rapidement. Lemieux du côté droit retient son geste à passant qu'on est forcé côté revers. C'est Éloire qui se démarque avec un beau tracé en haut de la ligne. Brissette maintenant retient son geste, feinte, cherche un soutien. Encore beaucoup de temps. C'est Saint-Pierre qui vient d'être maintenant Bernat, fier représentant de Sherbrooke. Éloire avec une petite passe rapide. Saint-Pierre qui se démarque. Montréal qui crée l'égalité. 1-1 dans cette finale masculine championnat canadien, édition 2025.
St. Pierre Naro left a trail of fire behind him there on that slash cut across the field. You know, these teams will do have, pardon me, top athletes on them, right? It's amazing how quick they are. I mean, teams this level, that is the prerequisite. Are you fast? Okay, now we can talk about your frisbee skills, but your disc skills, pardon me. But you know, no hesitation is usually a product of timing and knowing the systems, and Mephisto there just had everything dialed in the front of their stack. A very clean hold. That brings us to 1-1. And when we say hold, if you're tuning in and haven't watched the broadcast this week because suddenly you're like, well, it's the finals, I'm going to watch this. I have family, I've got friends in it, but I'm not really an Ultimate player. But they're in the finals, I better watch it. We'll say hold to mean when a team starts on offense, they score the point. And in Ultimate, you have to score your own points to stay in the game, and you need to score when you start on defense to win. So
You can do in cooperation on tennis. When you serve, you need to win the game.
Mire goes around to McRae. Lots of space in the middle for Goat coming under in this horizontal offense, changing it up against Mephisto. Hearing the fire call from Mephisto, signaling that they had a defensive set ready. Now they're just an honest person defense. Seagal on the sideline will throw the hammer. Easily fielded by James Lewis. Lewis is a tall guy, able to get his reach up on that hammer from Seagal, but that throw was so easy for Seagal. No one else in the area around Lewis. So we were talking earlier, Etienne, Mephisto was able to force a hold by Goat, which required 20 to 30 passes there. 10?
I don't know. Maybe 10.
You know, so
Seagal just threw this, like he clutched this hammer throw, and when the stall was at, I don't know, 2? Maybe
Yeah.
2. It's not a desperate throw. It was like, okay, I see man open. I see Dark Jersey out there. I'm just going to feed him. What's the best solution? Hammer it.
Seagal was looking very, very confident out there. He is coming off a Team Canada cycle in U24s, and you know he was a main handler, and those main handlers, when they have that confidence to those throws, that's usually part of their arsenal. And with conditions like this, we were joking yesterday that certain players have the green light to throw those passes, and certainly Seagal does.
Alors, Mephisto qui prendra cette prochaine possession offensive en réception de service. Un lancer d'engagement qui atterrit profondément, mais à l'extérieur du terrain. Et là, évidemment, ben, quand on fait des lancers d'engagement qui atterrissent à l'extérieur de la zone de pointe, ben, une certaine pénalité, une forme de pénalité qui s'impose. On doit reprendre au X, qu'on appelle le brick. Où est-ce que Brissette est installé présentement? Il enchaîne bien à Bernard. Bernard, la passe longue! C'est le mieux qui est en chasse. 2 chandails noirs pour défendre. Et c'est rabattu au sol par le numéro 2, Peterson. Oh, not Peterson, but c'est Zwang. Just blocking this pass injury call.
Ricky Zhuang got position early under that. He did a really good job to keep himself in a place where he could reach the disc at its apex while at the same time boxing out Lemieux and in a clean fashion, getting a little joke from Owen Robinson. So when you take an injury sub, someone comes on, Robinson making the joke that, oh, should I start with writhing on the ground? But no, you don't have to do that, even though it's hilarious. I feel like Robinson must be older because I'm laughing, but I'm 40, while all the young people here are super silent.
I'm laughing too. We just saw Mephisto losing possession with Lemieux acting as a handler strike. He's usually a handler, but went long.
And,
miscue.
you know, trying to score that point quick for the O-line, we do like to see these lines efficient. Runs out of time, but the hammer up to Kevin J never really turned over on its edge. Turner will dump that back to Robinson. Marin seemed to not have either cutter committed underneath, so Fisto able to snack on that D and get it back for the hold.
C'est Tremblay-Jonca qui effectue l'interception. C'est Bernard maintenant qui attaque la zone de fond. Tremblay-Jonca toujours en soutien. Oh, c'est Duquette ne peut maîtriser cette passe. Ça est un peu basse, ça. L'exécution de Tremblay-Jonca n'était pas parfaite là-dessus. La passe est longue. Turner going long.
McLean has an option to Kevin J. KJ, as he's known, had the pleasure working with him on the Team Canada Open Masters team. He is the best glue guy to have on the team. And what I mean by that, if anyone has the team spirits high, if anyone is getting guys to laugh and smile, knows just what to say to make everybody laugh or pay attention, working hard to get that point. I want to go down and ask him if he's the oldest guy on the team. Is it in the notes? Are we making fun of KJ right now? Not in there.
Maybe one of the oldest?
Oldest. Let's say that. He's an elder goat, as they like to say.
Elder goat.
Yeah, but that point, we're not talking about one of my favorite things now. I'm getting distracted by how much I like him, is the fact that that was a break.
That was a break.
And like you said earlier, we use that parlance and tenets. A break is when you don't start the point on offense and you are able to then score. This is how you win games. This is how you get ahead. So the score now 3-1.
Et là, malheureusement, le Mephisto qui encaisse un point bris au début de ce match. Après qu'ils aient eu une opportunité de se reprendre après avoir perdu possession du 10 là, sur le premier jeu, c'est Tremblay-Jonca qui a manqué sa passe à Duquette et Goat qui convertit pour prendre les avances 3-1. Montréal avec le disque. On ressent à Brissette. Duquette à l'intérieur, il y a un appel d'obstruction. Je crois que c'est Saint-Pierre et Miller là, qui discutent, s'assurer qu'on est bien au bon endroit avant la remise en jeu du disque. Duquette, le long de la ligne. Fait la passe au centre. On enchaîne bien du côté des Montréalais. Saint-Pierre avec le disque. On s'approche de la zone rouge. Saint-Pierre retient son cherche une réponse pour une continuité. C'est Daigle à l'opposé qui s'offre en cible. On continue bien Duquette à l'intérieur. Quel traceur exceptionnel que ce numéro 29. Connaît une superbe saison avec les Montréalais. La passe dans l'espace à Saint-Pierre qui s'ouvre encore une fois, s'offre en cible. Saint-Pierre inscrit le deuxième point de Mephisto qui tire de l'arrière par 1. C'est 3-2 pour les Torontois.
Go putting on familiar personnel. I don't think we can really tell you if there's a hard side or easy side right now. Both teams not too worried about where they're going. Again, the skill level high enough that 5 to 10 kilometer an hour gusting wind is no big deal. Etienne, it's funny. I always notice this in these games where we have teams from Quebec on the field is the team meeting between points, that circle where everybody comes together. It happens in every division, happens in juniors, happens in seniors, where after a point, whether you get scored on and whether you're on offense, everybody runs to the front of the line or just in front of the line to meet coach and see what's going on. I only see Quebec teams doing it. And I'll tell you something, we've tried to replicate it on the West and we're just so bad at it. Seagal's going to field this pole. They have time. Camire. Easy open side under. Players slipping on the middle of the field. So lots of continues available, but the middle of the field's kind of chewed up. Seagal's going to put that out, and it just sails over everybody. Easily fielded by Lewis, but we've got a Mephisto player down. I believe that was Zachary Armstrong, who is holding his knee.
I think he's holding his leg.
Yeah, so we'll pan away from that for now and just hope that he's going to be okay. Good on James Lewis to recognize that his man was down pretty early and stopped.
Yeah, good spirit. I mean, the holder of the disc, I think it's number 8, Lewis, before he was, where's my defender? Then it stared back, saw Armstrong on the ground, and said, well, okay, let's hold this up while the cart is moving on the field to see if the player Armstrong seems to suffer there. Le joueur de Mephisto, le numéro 12, Zachary Armstrong, là, qui est toujours au sol, il semblait se tenir la cuisse. Est-ce que c'est un claquage ou est-ce que c'est le genou? J'espère Il pourra se remettre rapidement, mais il est toujours au sol immobile.
In these instances, sometimes the clock is stopped. Usually captains will meet with Team Orange and determine if it's needed. I mean, we're seeing Armstrong
getting
hopping
a card with only 1 foot.
But a good sign that he's up.
Good sign. Good sign.
You know? And first aid crew at this tournament's got him on the carts, although go care for him as they need to.
He will be subbed by number 62, Giard, I believe.
You see players on Mephisto walking backwards now. What's happening is when an injury occurs, the play is dead at the time of the injury, not when someone notices. It's we do our best to figure out when it happened, and play is dead at that moment in time. So that's why Lewis here does not have a check and he's wide open. And the sub will be a little bit back. Lewis showing some patience. And McRae is able to flip that to Zlatić. So Goat, just with an ISO defense in front, brings the score to 4-2. Still up 1 break in this game.
Once again, good execution from Goat. Even though Mephisto's putting a ton of pressure on 1-1, but so far the long games have been all about the dark jerseys. Unfortunately, the Mephisto squad have not been successful playing the longs. So let's see how they will adapt to it.
And what's also interesting, and I know you were talking earlier about these teams' records, right, and everything, and who they've lost to and when it happened. You know, Mephisto took down Vancouver's Furious George in semis yesterday, 15-5, which, if you know Furious George, that's quite an achievement. They're a good team. They, you know, did not have a good game. If you go talk to them, they're pretty upset with how they played. They know that was not the level they play at. But at the same time, you know, for a team to take it to a storied program like that is huge. But Furious early in the tournament had beat Goat. So then, you know, if you follow the logic flowchart, you're like, well, obviously Mephisto should be winning this game, but it's really never how it works. Teams have different matchups against each other. They have different dynamics against each other. Goat so far have only made a few mistakes on communication errors, usually, which really cost you, but Mephisto hasn't been able to capitalize on those yet.
And if you look at the history of this Canadian Championship, Goat have won many Canadian titles, while Montreal has only won once. I believe it was in 2005, so 20 years ago already. Le mieux avec le 10 défensif de zone appliqué par les Torontois. Brissette maintenant avec le disque forcé du côté revers. Cherche une option le mieux qui se faufile avec un défenseur sur le dos. On remet en soutien au 43 Duplay. Brissette du côté droit. C'est Dubé qui vient en support avec un beau tracé à l'intérieur. Dubé, un des représentants canadiens dans la division mixte du championnat mondial U24 qui a eu lieu en Espagne entre fin juin et début juillet. Un des médaillés de cette édition canadienne lors de ce championnat du monde junior U24. Dubé, encore lui, fierté de Sherbrooke avec Bernard, là, les deux représentants de Sherbrooke là, qui toujours une excellente connexion et ça se poursuit, ça se continue. Les deux Sherbrookeois qui font la fête tout près de la zone de pointe. Vraiment, on se garde, font un excellent travail pour la franchise montréalaise. Et voilà le mieux qui sillonne la ligne de pointe. Montréal, la ligne offensive de Mephisto qui sécurise le 3e point. On n'est plus qu'à un seul petit point d'écart dans cette finale masculine. Go toujours en avant avec un point bris. C'est 4-3 pour les Torontois.
I feel like we're not getting the privilege to see some closer, contests against catches and covering and forcing hostile counts, because the middle of the field is pretty churned up. We're seeing a lot of blown tires. People are falling down. I mean, Dax Miller was on D, and then he fell backwards, and his man went up the line, and he was just unable to what I thought was in biddable position, but he's one step behind, and that's because he never got that first step from tripping on the field. And it's not just one trip. Like, that's not the only one. It's every point we're seeing someone set up a cut or set up a defensive line that they want to take on someone, and they're falling down. So Interesting to see that playing a part so far on the sunny day. We've had lots of rain and moisture, so it has made this field slippery. That pull lands inbound. Segal fields it at the very back and flips it up to Komire, but Goat showing some patience here. They have lots of options. They're kind of looking at each other in the lanes, looking at who's going to go next. Sladich is able to pull a few defenders deep, so Goat can send some backwards to help. Segal. Needs some options. High stall count. OI, flick break, a tough throw to make, but that opens it up. It's going to go back to... No, I think it was just a pick. There was some contact. It seemed like the disc was going to be thrown back, but instead it will just stay with Wilkie Lewis after everybody's happy with where they are.
So the pick having no impact on the output of the play, so the day stays where it is.
Lewis is going to take off deep. He wants it. He's been a deep threat this game. It's not quite there. Lewis looking for the around, is going to hammer over to Segal, calls for that because he has time running out on the sideline, but keeps it in past the bidding Mephisto defender. Sladich on the forced side. Lewis wide open on the slash cut. And we'll just ISO with Segal in front, a very difficult area to cover. Goat with the hold. Was it a close call? Was it a risky throw? Lewis was running out of time, and that hammer was very well thrown. It had a lot of snap on it. It stayed in bounds, but he did not give Segal much room to work with. I mean, if they were to run this stream back and listen to me say this, they would just simply say, Clay, that's child's play.
What do you know about all
that? That is nothing to us. But
to your point, any completed pass is a good decision.
Any landing you can walk away from is a good one. But what I will say though, I mean, save for that break completed by the break point achieved by Goat earlier, Goat has had to take some risky shots to get their holds, while Mephisto has not. Mephisto's been a lot more fundamental in getting their points.
And following the deep pull from Montreal that has been put back into play deep in the left-hand corner of Goat's zone, it took them about, 10, maybe a dozen passes to get out of their own goal zone. Just great display of how Montreal's defense is playing tight in this men's final. Bernard à l'intérieur s'offrant cible à Brissette. Bernard a deviné qui? Dubé, encore une fois, ces deux-là. Oh, quel plongeon défensif du numéro 13, Wang.
He'll reset that to the middle. Has Nishizaki. Go with another break chance as they float into a vertical. The handlers will play a little give-go. Turcotte sticking around. Makes the bid to keep it alive. He lands, and it hurts. I didn't hear the comment. Now, I don't believe he was fouled. So when you hurt yourself and you have to call injury, and it's not because of something the defense did and a foul, you must sub. But, D-line doing their job, and you have an O-liner here, Owen Robinson, coming on. Teams do this on injury calls. It is something that you can tactically get away with. Lacombe, Burgoyne? He comes on because Mephisto's also allowed to sub the equal amount of players that Goat does on an injury call. Robinson is going to go up the line to the hero of this point, Kai Huang. He'll go back to Robinson. Robinson very shifty with the jab steps. Nishizaki looking for him. Sticks with Robinson. Goes up the line. Lots of players for Goat go up. That baits the defense from Mephisto, allowing Huang to get the bigger round. He's looking for options. Pardon me, that's Nishizaki on the sideline. Looking for a dump, flips it over the top to Robinson. A very, very difficult throw to complete, but it does the job. See another hammer here from Goat. And that's brought in by number 32, David Petsinas. That's another break for Goat. They are opening up the 3-point lead. Timeout, Mephisto. Etienne, not a surprising timeout call whatsoever.
And so far, it's all been about the GOAT defense. We just witnessed an amazing layout still right in front of the media booth and great execution following up on a hammer throw point once again. And once again, the hammer throw was clutch at stall 1.5.
Yes.
Maybe two. Two. But still no hesitation. There was one guy, one dark jerseys, Darby in the end zone, just wangs it.
Petsina's making the play. I mean, there's the choice of that throw is early. Petsina's is open. But I just feel like, is that a false positive? I'm asking myself this question of, we got that off, but is that what we want to do? We're glad that we've got players like 22 to dig that out of the ground for us, right? Like to make that catch. Not 22, 32 to make that catch. But, I mean, he really had to cradle that. It could have so easily bounced off the ground. If I'm Mephisto, I'm probably taking this time out saying, boys, this won't continue. They're not going to reel in every hammer. It's been inches for them, whether it's been inches off the ground, toes just inbound off the sideline from going out. And yesterday, that was Mephisto's game. Every time they were in those tricky situations, they got every single one. And that's what happened when they beat Furious. And so far, GOAT is getting every single one in those risky situations.
One thing's for sure is that Mephisto haven't been in that situation yet in this tournament, trailing by 3. So it's something new, at least in this tournament. But I believe the coaching staff, led by Alex Lemieux, also supported by Charles Barito and Cédric Aubry-Boucher, well-experienced coaching staff. Alors, les 3 entraîneurs là, de Mephisto, là, Barito, Aubry-Boucher, ainsi que Lemieux, vraiment devraient aider l'équipe à trouver des solutions. Mephisto qui tire de l'arrière, Bernard avec le disque. Il vient de subir un autre point bris. Belle passe au Saint-Pierre qui l'attrape et c'était -1. Belle pour petit passe et court. Saint-Pierre, Brissette. Il y a aussi Lemieux qui s'était joint à la fête l'espace d'un instant. Saint-Pierre retient son geste. Il va sur la latérale, Conner. Conner, entraîneur du club Titan Junior, là, qui a terminé 2e dans les divisions féminines junior plutôt cette semaine. Un excellent entraîneur aussi qui œuvre au niveau de l'équipe Canada. Un appel, mais ça semble avoir été retiré. Brissette qui donne les consignes avec sa main droite. On veut un stack bien vertical pour créer de l'espace. On connaît l'agilité du passeur Brissette. C'est Saint-Pierre qui attaque le tracé de la ligne. Éloire qui s'offre en cible en soutien. Retient son revers, va plutôt du côté droit. Lemieux lui aussi feinte. Alimente Brissette à l'ouverture du côté ouvert. On enchaîne rapidement. Et c'est le numéro 4, Victor Sauvé, qui procure au Mephisto qui met fin à cette courte hémorragie. Mephisto qui tire de l'arrière par 2. GOAT 6, Mephisto 4.
Great patience by Mephisto that point. GOAT, pardon me, was throwing way more pressure on defense right there. I was enjoying the matchup of GOAT's Andrew Carroll versus 93 on Mephisto, William St. Pierre, because Carroll's known as, how should I put this, a very frustrating defender. And yet St. Pierre, as we've seen in this game, just has the wheel, the turbo jets, just to go anywhere he wants anytime. Now seeing some matchups develop. Mephisto there, they now just had an instance as well where Carroll and Huang just missed a thread through the middle that Mephisto got. So now Mephisto getting one of those, anxiety-inducing passes going their way. So I think we're going to see more and more things like this as this goes on, as matchups are determined. Teams are figuring each other out. Very common story in these games, finding the rhythm of the other team.
Well, fruitful timeout call by Mephisto, holding on this offense. Still trailing by 2.
Kamire will flip that over to Segal. Lewis waiting for someone to come under so he can take off deep, looking for the continue. Wasn't there. Segal looking for Slatic. There's a foul in the lanes between Robinson and his defender. Coming in on one. Sakal wants something underneath. Now looks for the reset. Robinson blows a tire, and it's helpful as it completely shakes defender because no one saw it coming. But he needs some options. Lewis comes down from the middle to bail him out. Some big switches here from Mephisto. Works out and puts too much pressure on Goat to get organized. And after a little miscommunication with that throw to Zladic, Mephisto now with the break chance.
Un stack à l'horizontale en milieu de terrain pour les Blancs. Oh là, c'est sauvé. Là. Je crois que c'est par McEwen. Maintenant, Giard avec le disque. Milieu de terrain. On tente de s'organiser du côté des Montréalais. On rétablit le stack horizontal, ou plutôt vertical. Il y a eu un appel, c'est une faute sur la marque, ou il y a eu plutôt de l'obstruction, pardonnez-moi. Rousseau avec le disque. Montréal en chasse de son premier point bris. Ce serait une excellente opportunité de le conclure. Ils en ont subi 2 jusqu'à maintenant. Rousseau en soutien à Pedersen. Pedersen à Rousseau. On perd des verges. C'est maintenant McEwen avec le disque. Pivote bien. Et va rejoindre Genet le long de la ligne. Oh, la passe en soutien. Tout juste hors de portée. Un joueur pincelle comme il est parti. But
no one picked it up.
One picked it up. Oh, Comire was all by himself. Handler strike by number 15.
But this time, someone picks it up. It's Segal pitching that to Keith McRae. McRae sticking his hands out like, was somebody covering me? I don't know. What happened? Love that celebration. The score, 7-4. Chen kind of...
That's what you like on your own,
well,
right?
That's
You're
what
losing the disc, taking it back, one pass later, bang.
Playing with pride to get it back and then quickly getting it done on the other side of the coin. Frustration for Mephisto. You had it on the doorstep, 15 yards out, and then you just commit a miss throw on where you thought your cutter was going. You know, a 3-point lead is tough. Goat did start the game on offense, so you know, if they were to take half, Mephisto's still going to get to start the next half on 0 because we switch. But a break here for Goat would really put Mephisto on their heels going into half. So this stage in the game, I know we say it because they're all must-win points, but you just feel that some are more important than others.
Yeah, absolutely. Pendant qu'on voit en arrière-plan, il y a les gradins là, qui sont bien remplis. Il y a aussi le beer garden that opened, I believe, at 9 o'clock this morning. And there was a surprisingly high amount of people out there enjoying their Sunday morning beer. Never thought I'd say that. Lemieux accepte l'offrande de Brissette. C'est Saint-Pierre là, avec une belle roulade pour maîtriser cette vive passe de Lemieux. On est en soutien. Bernard là, qui doit protéger ses 10 des 2 tonnes de pression de Saillet. C'est Éloire maintenant du côté bris. Lemieux retient son geste. Feinte. Le lancer sous coupe.
Wow.
Lancé presque nonchalamment. Et Lemieux qui dit pourquoi vous êtes impressionné. C'est normal ça. Wow, what an impressive scuba throw by Lemieux. Just make it looks so easy. Just walking off the field like, what are you guys?
There's a homonym for you. Nonchalant like that.
I just did a 30-yard long scuba. And Zubé was just waiting for it. Looking at his watch. Scuba was coming. And said, well, okay.
His stance wasn't one of the ready position. I don't think I'd call it neutral either. I think they call that stance swag.
Swag.
Yeah, that's the swag stance before you throw it. You know, you kind of just got to drop your shoulders, look over your back shoulder. You're not even facing the right way, and just be like, yeah, all right.
All right.
This is
That's
nothing.
what you guys want. That's what I'll do.
Okay, fine.
Well, typical Sunday morning throw. Absolutely.
Score 7-5.
I believe not the whole beer garden. Some people stay seated for whatever reason. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's hot.
Maybe because it's hot. Yeah.
Seagal getting all the pulls for Goat today, and he will once again. As Kamara in the middle, Zladic wide open, calling for the disc on the edge. Split stack to a side stack for Goat. Into the middle to Lewis. Has James Lewis coming underneath. We haven't seen him in the handler set very much. Seagal up to Kamara. He's okay after some contact. Seagal on the sideline. No stranger to throwing big OIs up the line here if you watch your highlights. But instead flips it back to Robinson. Wants something up the line. We've got a blade over top. Lewis uses his height for a huge catch, and the quick flip to Kamira. You see some taps on the head, on his head. James Lewis elevates and uses his height for the emphatic score for Goat, which brings us to half at a score of 8-5. So we're going to do some ads. I'm going to go downstairs and see if there's any players that would like to join us for an interview. We'll be right back.
On va prendre une courte pause pour cette mi-temps qui a été remportée par Goat par le pointage 8-5. On espère vous obtenir des petites entrevues lors de cette pause de mi-temps. Restez à l'écoute, on poursuit avec la deuxième mi-temps de cette finale masculine. À tout de suite.
I love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 On est de retour pour cette deuxième mi-temps championnat canadien division masculine qui oppose Montréal, Mephisto de Montréal contre Goat de Toronto. Ça a été à l'avantage des Torontois jusqu'à maintenant qui mènent 8-5 et inscrit 2 points bris. Ils ont commencé le match en offensive. Alors, ce sera Mephisto qui commencera cette deuxième mi-temps avec la réception de service au play. We were just chatting about that a few seconds ago. Half was completed within 40 minutes of play. That's very, very quick.
Very
13
quick.
points scored in less than 40 minutes.
Teams running hard to get it done. I mean, you always want your offensive line to be out there for a short amount of time. You want that burst to be retained. You know, you don't want them to have to work on sustaining the whole game with a ton of running. You want them to be efficient and quick, and then get your defensive line out there that does the opposite. And you want your defensive line out there often and sometimes quick and sometimes for a grind to tire out the other team's offensive line. So, you know, a very quick game. It's a 2-hour time slot, and it's soft cap only. We're not even halfway through what was an earlier time slot of 85 minutes. So a very quick scoring game. Before this half gets started, I just want to shout out everybody that made this tournament what it is. The Ivor Dent Sports Complex is an amazing place to play. We're on Field 1, the showcase field sponsored by Discraft and BE Ultimate. BE Ultimate, the apparel partner of the tournament, while Discraft provides all of the important equipment, those circular pieces of plastic we call discs. And there's just so many more, but the Edmonton Ultimate Players Association has done such a good job of letting us play here. The land we're playing on is on Treaty 6 territory. That's traditional land of the Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, and Blackfoot peoples, plus part of the homeland of the Métis people. Very privileged, Etienne, to be playing here. And there's so many more sponsors that I'm just going to run through. Explore Edmonton, the quick seat seating for our bleachers, the City of Edmonton, Remax with the tents, Red Thunder Media, Dave's Diesel Repair, Alti Photos, the Alberta Film School, and True North Scaffolding, which we're standing on. So many things went into this tournament to make it work, to have the privilege to be here doing this. And what a day to finish it on with the sun shining, the wind died down, the whole crowd here for our last game of the entire series, the Open Final.
Alors, comme Clé le mentionnait si bien, on tient à remercier tous les partenaires, là, entre autres BE Ultimate et Discraft, qui font de cet événement un succès extraordinaire, mais aussi saluons Ultimate Canada et les nombreux bénévoles là, qui font de cet événement un succès tout à fait exceptionnel. C'est vraiment, ça défie l'imagination de penser à tous les petits détails qui sont nécessaires, d'être réfléchis et planifiés pour faire d'un événement là, qui attire, on parle d'environ 1000 athlètes à la division junior et 1500 athlètes, donc près de 2500 athlètes, plus les entraîneurs, tous les bénévoles, là, c'est près de 2800, près de 3000 personnes là, qui prennent part à ce championnat canadien. Donc bravo à tout le personnel d'Ultimate Canada et tous les bénévoles qui prennent part. C'était un événement tout à fait exceptionnel. Miscue by Mephisto to kick things off in the second half.
Miller was looking for the quick dish, not quite in for Goat. They capitalize, and towing the line is number 13, Kai Wang. So, Goat with a huge moment of developing a quick turnover. Miller jumped right on top of that and started looking for options to get the quick score. That is a break. So the score now 9-5.
This one hurts.
This one hurts. And Etienne, if I'm reading my chicken scratch correctly here, that's no breaks for Mephisto this game.
Yet.
And yet. And only, a 4-point deficit, sure. But, like, Goat has achieved 3 breaks. You win breaks with games. Mephisto has yet to generate one. So now we start asking the question, are they going to get a break? Where is it? They have to find a way right now. You know, your analysis says Mephisto is currently unable to generate breaks. You can't win if that's happening. I mean, it's been close. We've talked about a lot of Goat's choices in their throws while they've seen wide open haven't been executed to a T, and there's been a lot of athletic play to keep things alive.
Close is not enough. Montréal là, qui vient de subir un troisième point bris d'entrée de jeu dans cette deuxième mi-temps. Alors, plutôt que de se retrouver avec un pointage de 8-6, il tire maintenant de l'arrière par 4, Brissette avec une défensive de maraudage appliquée par les Torontois. Il y a un joueur de GOAT là, qui est resté au sol, le numéro 98, Dax Miller, calling for an injury. He will be subbed by number 34.
Turner.
Bill Turner. What an amazing defenseman wearing that number 34. Montréal, avec le disque, c'est le 43 Duplay. Plein cœur, là, alimente le mieux. Le mieux avec une bombe. En réception, le numéro 7. Montréalais, je crois que c'est le numéro 7, c'est Sauvé. Ou le numéro 4, plutôt Victor Sauvé, qui vraiment, c'est littéralement, passez-moi l'expression, sauvé de ses défenseurs. Et voilà, la blague facile est faite. Mais quelle course et quelle passe de le mieux. Une passe qui a franchi près de 70 verges d'une redoutable précision. Et quelle vitesse, démonstration de vitesse par Victor Sauvé, digne représentant de la ville de Québec. C'est le 6e point des Montréalais qui tirent de l'arrière par 3.
And Sauvé, as you said, saving that. The sauveteur? Is that the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at me go. All right.
Your French is amazing.
Je pratique. Des fois. Mais c'est difficile de parler français avec toi sur le stream parce que j'oublie des mots qui sont simples. Et toujours, même quand maintenant, est-ce que tu veux le mot que j'oublie maintenant, la traduction?
Quel est-il?
Judgment.
Judgment. Jugement.
Jugement.
Voilà.
Mainly because when I think about that word, I think about the entire province of Quebec listening to me. So.
Which you're likely right now. No pressure, but your French is better than what you think.
Oh, merci.
So, in the meantime, GOAT on offense. Comire.
He's able to get that. Zladic flips it to the middle to McRae. Up to Segal. Segal wants the dump. Jab step. There's a pick down field. So Segal and Bastien will have a discussion about what the count should come in at. After picks, I mean, the highest it's going to come in is at 6. So Segal saying, listen, I know you had a high stall count, but there was a pick down field that I was trying to stop for, so it is going to come back. They agree it's going to come in at 5 after a discussion.
Sounds like it.
Yep. Segal has Wilkie Lewis. Keith McRae just sticking around in front will pitch that out to the other Lewis. It bounces off his hands. James, close call. You see him hugging the disc saying, Roops, I've got it though. I've got it, guys. It's okay. He gives the disc an embrace and then kind of hits his head a few times like, okay, I got this. I got this.
Nice focus, nice second effort by the GOAT receiver. Even though there was a ton of pressure by Duquette, I don't think Duquette touched the disc, but just, probably just plant a quick seed of hesitation for the receiver, which might explain why he needed a second effort to secure that point for the Toronto squad. Now entering the double-digit zone. I need to take a deep to double-digit zone.
Yeah.
Scorecard.
5 points away, right? This is a game to 15.
Away, yeah, you're right.
But once again, like it's funny that I was on the sideline for the Mephisto Furious George semifinal, and like I said, it was just Mephisto just got away with everything, right? So right here now you're seeing kind of the same happen to GOAT, really drawing a parallel, bouncing off the hands of James Lewis. He kind of does a hop skip over the defender that made the first play to trip him up, and he has to be on his toes and make an awkward catch. But once again, it's those instances. GOAT has just not dropped or turned the disc in any of those instances. It's all coming up for GOAT right now.
And a nice pull, landing out of bounds. A little too much power too much power. You got to hold the power back. So isn't that a Rage Against the Machine song? Maybe got to fight the power back. Fight the power back. No, anyway, forget about this. Just want to
now, how am I supposed to focus on this, Etienne? I'm just going to be thinking.
Just thinking Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. Le mieux qui alimente Édouard. La passe est longue, la transversale à Dubé. Oh, bien positionné. Il y avait la pression défensive, mais Dubé qui s'était fait oublier du côté opposé. Mais un des joueurs qui ne l'a pas oublié, c'est Édouard avec une passe spectaculaire, une passe caribou. C'est parti du dialecte québécois. Something we'd like to implement. That's part of our Quebec-based community. So when there's a cross-field pass with a great angle, we call that a pass caribou. Caribou pass.
Caribou.
Why caribou? I don't know, but that's the terminology.
I wonder if it's got something to do with the antlers, because see, what's interesting about that throw, that's an outside-in throw, right? Which means it's thrown on the side away from the play. It has an angle like it's going to bend out of bounds on that close sideline where the side is thrown from. But then it bends, it continues to bend all the way around across the vertical plane of the middle of the field. So I've heard them OIO. Caribou, I mean, yeah, there's different.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. So, but I'm not sure if Dubé was forgotten about, or if Goat was comfortable leaving that area of the field undefended. Like Zhuang was close, right? But that throw was a dime.
It was. Une très belle passe du représentant de Verdun, Elliott Édouard, dont Édouard, which have pulled that nice pass. His sister is also playing on Iris, a great family ultimate here in Edmonton.
Kamira is going to bring this to the brick mark. X marks the spot. We can faintly see it in the middle of the field there. Goat sets up in a split stack. They try to run a Jets go instead. Go to the middle. McRae has Lewis. That's ripped out of his hands. Immediately acknowledged by number 24, Thomas Lalonde Landry. Knows that, yeah, you had that, and I kind of grabbed your elbow. They high five, respect, to know what had happened there. Good spirit by both players. So Wilkie Lewis has James in the deep space. He's going to take it. Lewis uses his size, gets up high. That will be in whether he's forced out or not. Another huge grab by James Lewis, getting it done for Goat this game. The score 11-7.
Goat leveraging their height advantage versus Montreal. It's not a big advantage, but they're sure taking advantage of it while feeding those tall receivers like Lewis deep in the end zone. And even though Hooley put almost backpacking Lewis on there, but still Lewis caught it in. No arms, no foul. It's a point for the well-deserved point for the black jerseys. Montreal still hunting, seeking for a break point in this final. If I can do a parallel in the women's final, facing Iris from Quebec against Sixers from Toronto. Iris were not able to score a break point in the final. So while the representative from Sixers
a little bit of a repeat here.
4.
Indeed.
Alors, c'est un peu... semble avoir un scénario qui se répète à la finale féminine. Là. Les Québécoises de Iris n'ont été incapables d'inscrire un point bris face à leurs adversaires, les Sixers de Toronto. Et là, on a une autre finale du Québec versus Toronto. Et là, Montréal qui est toujours en chasse d'un premier point bris. Bernat qui alimente Édouard. Édouard la laisse aller! Ça flotte le mieux en réception! Le mieux! Qui monte l'escabeau pour attraper cette passe à la main droite. Très, très bel effort du numéro 13, Kai Wang. Mais le mieux atterri avec le disque. Montréal qui s'accroche, tire toujours de l'arrière par 3 points et toujours en chasse de ce point bris si précieux qui réduirait l'écart.
So, will Mephisto break the trend that you were explaining in the women's final? where Eagles did not score any breaks. I mean, now's the time. I actually had expected the score to be something like this at this stage in the game, except flipped around based on how Mephisto's week and weekend had been going.
Right.
But Goat proving us wrong here. You know, this O-line from Goat has really leveraged players in the right spots. I mean, you've got some really competent handlers, particularly Robinson and Kamira is just getting all the resets they want. You've got Sladich and Wilkie Lewis in the middle, kind of running around doing whatever. You've got Keith McRae providing a secondary option all the time. Segal, ever confident, throwing lots of dimes. And then just James Lewis being so tall. And if I walk it back to that point earlier as this poll goes out of bounds, you know, some people will say, oh, well, it's Lewis. You can't teach tall. Tall, gonna tall. Lewis used tall. It was super effective. But, you know, that last place, not just that. He had defensive pressure and a line to contend with. He had to think about where the defender was. He had to think about keeping his feet in. He fought through the contact, the and one with the grab, and as he was coming down, he looked over his shoulder, kept his toes in, right? Just this O-line is deadly for Goat right now.
It is. It is.
Well, this time they're being held with some really tough man defense. Late throw, reset to Kamira. He fakes the huck. Not there. Robinson's going to come from the side to the middle. Sladich in front of the stack. Sladich so good at that short game in the front. Wilkie Lewis looking for options. Has Segal around as his defender blows a tire. Segal is going to look to Lewis. Offhand dump. The edge that sails over the hedge of Sladich. And now a quick throw ends up as a miscue. You hear the crowd go wild because they know this is the chance that Mephisto needs to bring the game back.
Et le voilà, peut-être l'opportunité d'inscrire ce premier point bris. Là, ça sera Connor qui sonnera la charge à sa propre ligne de points. Belle défensive de Hooley qui rabatte le disque au sol pour sécuriser ce revirement après cette petite misconnectivité des Torontois. Hooley de la main gauche. Fait le revers. Connor retient la passe longue. C'est le numéro 27, Robinson, là, qui a plongé pour bloquer cette passe. Mais Connor commence à se faire tard. Connor doit faire initiative. Il va trouver Dubé. Dubé qui s'est faufilé. Il alimente Monfette à l'intérieur. Rapidement à Bernard. On arrive au point de brique. C'est Houlé avec le disque. Retient son geste. Cherche un soutien. Il y a deux joueurs. Beaucoup de circulation derrière lui. Et c'est le 22 Connor là, qui se démarque en support. Montréal qui menace. Doit absolument inscrire ce point bris s'il va rester dans la course pour la médaille d'or. Lalonde Landry, plein cœur du terrain, c'est bloqué! Oh, quelle belle présence défensive de McRae qui vient mettre fin aux espoirs de point bris pour cette opportunité. Oh! Et là, Lalonde Landry là, qui s'en veut absolument, il se tient la tête. Et là, les joueurs montréalais, les deux mains sur les genoux, ça a été une longue présence très exigeante physiquement. Et là, en plus, ne peuvent convertir le point bris. Wow! Ben, rendons crédit là, à Keith McRae, qui vraiment était parfaitement allumé pour de l'arrière, pivoter ses hanches, laisser aller pour bloquer le disque. Way to turn your hips on the other side and laying out. You got to be
and the presence of mind
aware.
Yeah, exactly. 200% aware. The presence of mind to know that based on where he was against his check, he's like, I'm burned up the line. Like, he is going to get me here. To just totally sell on where the lane of that throw is probably going to be. Just he knew the pass that Mephisto wanted, right? He knew, and just that's what O-lines have to do after they commit a turnover, right? You just have to play, I don't want to say desperate, but you have to play so lights out. You cannot, you are playing for your D-line a bit here. You want to get them back out there, and you don't want your D-line to have to, like, win the game for you. You got to get those holds so that they only need to score the game with one break. So you are playing with that pride. Split stack, they're going to ISO to split. I actually thought they were going to go to Lewis, but no. They get it around McRae. to James Lewis, hitting the ground to keep it alive. He's going to look for a reset to Segal. Segal had Kamari up the line. Lewis staying back to provide the reset. He's doing it all this game. He's open deep. He's open in the handler set. Robinson has options. He's got a few receivers. He's going to take the shot to Kamari, who elevates and brings it in. What a grab. He's a little upset about the contact as well, so he stands up with some fire. A huge point for Goat to get that back. 12-8. We had Lewis come back as a handler. Kamari, handler strike to get the point. That was a statement, Etienne.
And Monfette fighting hard to get that block against Kamari, two veterans from on the Canadian Ultimate scene. They know each other very, very well. So Monfette going all out, some bumping occurring. Good news is no injuries, but timeout call by Montreal. While the previous point when we've seen Goat blocking Montreal break opportunity, they've called a timeout, and it's been proven that this timeout was fruitful.
For the hold.
For the hold.
For the hold. I mean, that's how you keep your team in the game. You've got 7 points to go. Goat has 3. You need to get many breaks, more than double them up. On
and the clock
scoring,
is showing
yeah.
We still have 58 minutes remaining.
And this game is soft cap only, which if we got to that time cap, we would take the highest score and add 1. I mean, we may get there if Mephisto goes on a run here. The points are getting longer. Like at the beginning of the game, it was 4 throws, 10 throws, 15 throws, whatever. But now the points are commonly long, as we're seeing some fatigue and some grit of players just showing us something they haven't. I mean, I'll go back to Keith McRae's bid, just in that moment, just locked in, as the kids say, to get that defensive play. So hadn't seen that burst from him yet, and played with that pride to get it back.
It's kind of a cheering battle happening right now. Goats sideline just cheering for their teammate, while the crowd seems to be cheering for Mephisto. Mephisto là, qui le lancer d'engagement qui atterrit tout juste à l'extérieur. How costly is a pull landing out of bounds? It's like you're giving a 20-25 yard long free ride.
Yeah, 15. It's 15 and field position.
Brissette, cette marque de briques. Brissette est le mieux qui attaque le tracé de la ligne. Brissette qui va trouver Saint-Pierre qui s'est défendu par Turner. Très belle confrontation de 2 superbes athlètes. Brissette avec une flèche à Éloire. Il a attaqué le tracé long pour revenir à l'intérieur. C'est maintenant Duplay. Pivote bien. Cherche un soutien. Petite passe flottante à Brissette qui l'a saisi d'une seule main. C'est à son tour d'attaquer, mais c'est une belle transition défensive de Goat. Brissette en chasse! Plonge! Mais c'est hors de portée. Oh là, je crois que c'est Sauvé là, qui avait peut-être... aurait pu y aller, mais Brissette n'avait aucune idée que Sauvé était là. Sauvé a retenu sa course pour éviter le contact là, qui aurait pu être très, très, très dommageable.
Marin with the fake bidding Mephisto defender thought it was up. Marin wisely holsters that, has lots of time now to find a pass to Philip Turner. He'll go back around to Marin. Namho takes the around with tons of patience to get that to Eric Zhuang. Really stuck with that posture to make that throw. Carroll going deep, not quite in the end zone. And Carroll is able to get the quick dish to Turner. Carroll drops to his knees to celebrate the break. So now, Etienne, as we said earlier, last time Mephisto took a timeout, it was fruitful, as you say. This time, not bearing fruit.
Yeah. Alors, Mephisto qui vient de subir un autre point bris, c'est le 4e de Goat. Et les Torontois qui mènent maintenant par 5 points. Et il commence à se faire tard. Là, vraiment, ce dernier point bris que vient de subir les Montréalais fait mal. Il fait mal dans vraiment les intentions. Et là, on devra commencer avec un point en offensive, mais là, on devra enchaîner les points bris parce que Goat n'est plus qu'à potentiellement deux possessions offensives de se mériter la médaille d'or de ce championnat canadien. So 2 points away, let's say, technically speaking, 2 offense away.
Two goals
from a gold medal. Alors vraiment, Mephisto là, qui devrait mettre toute la gomme en même temps, garder l'exécution quasi parfaite. Jusqu'à maintenant, encore une fois, Mephisto en chasse de ce premier point bris. Ils ont eu plusieurs opportunités, mais les Torontois ont su résister à chaque fois de très belle façon. Et là, il y a de la pression sur le mieux. C'est Daigle qui vient en support Montréal profondément dans sa propre zone de points. On invoque le Callahan dans la foule et sur le banc de Toronto, mais c'est Duquette qui donne un peu d'espace pour respirer pour les Montréalais. Giard avec le 10 maintenant, la latérale à Daigle. Daigle enchaîne de la ligne droite, alimente Dubé, plein milieu de terrain, la passe est haute, mais Brissette est là pour sauver le disque en gagnant aussi de précieuses verges. C'est Giard qui alimente Brissette. La latérale, c'est Sauvé qui se démarque de belle façon à l'intérieur. Sauvé à Dubé. Dubé dans la zone rouge. Mettons autour de Duquette. Belle défensive des Torontois qui mettent de la pression sur les Montréalais. Dans l'espace, Brissette qui doit s'agenouiller pour sauver ce disque. Montréal doit convertir cette possession offensive, rester dans la course. C'est Brissette, ou Duquette plutôt, avec le disque. Petite passe à l'intérieur à Giard. On attend la confirmation. Il va lancer confirmé. Mephisto qui s'accroche en inscrivant un 9e point. Mais là, il y a toujours des discussions. On a vu des bras dans les airs des observateurs, mais je crois que le disque retournera à Duquette. Est-ce que c'est le numéro 92? Difficile à dire. I'm not sure what happened there.
I'm not sure either. I did see the pick call signal. It looked like Petsinas was wide open. I mean, he still is wide open. Or sorry, no, he's on D. So I think he couldn't get to the player who was wide open. Pardon me.
Duquette à Brissette. Brissette avec la passe précise à Dubé le long de la ligne. Dubé retient son geste de la gauche. Va alimenter Brissette. Brissette cherche une option. Cherche une option en soutien. C'est Dubé qui lui offre. Brissette enchaîne. Toujours au milieu de terrain. Un stack vertical. On travaille fort et c'est Dubé qui s'ouvre avec une belle explosion. Un excellent premier pied. Et là, Dubé dit non, c'est pas terminé. On continue à se battre. Montréal qui en inscrit un 9e. Tire toujours de l'arrière par 4 points. Mais surtout, tire de l'arrière par 4 points bris.
Well, Goat coming off the field here saying, hey, that was great, Goat. I mean, they are obviously putting on a lot of pressure for the Mephisto line to score. It is at this stage of the game that you just want to be putting that crazy pressure on the offense. That when you have the 4-point lead, you say, okay, like if they have to work that hard for an 0 point, then we are doing something correct right now. So
Montreal seeking for a defensive spark. You know, what can happen? Because most of their turnovers, most of them were on forced error by the Goats squad. They haven't done like that big layout defense action. There was a couple of bids layout, but they felt short.
Yeah.
So looking for that little spark that might turn things or make things happen.
But as we've seen, Goat continues to just come down with all, you know, the sky throws. They continue to come down with all the 50-50s low to the ground. That pull is a beanbag, as there's a beanbag down here all the way on the edge of the field thrown by lead observer Ken for this game. The beanbags made by Miss Hansen, homemade. Sandra Hansen's mother makes the beanbags. Those should be official equipment.
Nice.
They are genuine Hansens.
I didn't know.
To show where the horizontal plane of the field is. So go just on the doorstep. McRae wants some options. It's not Komire. He's trying to fight through. Well, maybe it is. He keeps his feet in. We're jumping all over each other as we fall down. Komire shows some patience, looking for resets. Instead, is able to sneak it through the middle. And that is caught by Mario Zlatic. And go with a pretty mute celebration there. I mean, they got very lucky with that pole going out of bounds so early. It went out at essentially the brick mark. So they marched it all the way up and could immediately get into their end zone set. You need to keep your poles in bounds. If you're from Victoria, you know how ironic it is to hear me say that. Danny Proby bought me a shirt that has a no parking sign and says not a puller. Buy that for your friends, everybody. But, you know, that is the sort of thing that Mephisto honestly just can't, you can't afford that in a final. You can't afford that. At this level, I mean, look how quickly you just got punished.
Absolutely.
And in a game where all the luck is going Goat's way, you almost want to say to yourself, well, shoot, of course, right?
Nice acrobatic catch. And I believe I've witnessed some Cirque du Soleil scout taking notes after that acrobatics.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe some conversation with the Cirque du Soleil. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a ultimate player representative.
Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe we already have it. We don't know.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Mephisto, là, qui est acculé au bord de la falaise, doivent absolument convertir cette possession offensive. Après ça, ils devront enchaîner les points bris. Goat qui mène maintenant 14-9. Montréal, toujours aucun point bris. En plein cœur, c'est Dubé qui s'offre en cible. Accepte le laser de sauver. C'est Bernard maintenant. Pivote bien. Oh, il chute. Et aucun appel. Bernard se relève. Très, très belle confrontation, là, Bernard versus Turner. Deux athlètes tout à fait exceptionnels qui se connaissent très, très bien un l'autre.
Jared Marin taking an injury sub. Looks like when he fell down, might have tweaked his ankle or winded himself. I'm not sure. So,
c'est Dubé là, qui sera remplacé par le 24, Lalonde Landry, suite à la blessure du numéro 9 de Goat, Jared Marin. Brissette, avec le disque, retient son geste, cherche un espace, beaucoup de pression, le lancer sous coupe. Oh, il était très, très tard. Duplay qui est en support. Le mieux maintenant, l'enchaînement. C'est le statu quo, on est toujours au même endroit. Côté des Montréalais, on doit gagner des verges. Saint-Pierre là, qui s'offre en cible, on franchit la ligne de milieu. Saint-Pierre à Brissette. Brissette avec la passe longue, Duplay en chasse, mais ça sera hors de portée pour les Montréalais. Duplay qui était fin seul, mais la passe là, qui avait un peu trop de puissance pour Duplay. C'était bien démarqué. Il a tout donné, mais ça sera revirement Goat qui menace pour le point de la médaille d'or.
McLean flips that over to Huang. Horizontal set for Goat. Looking for Miller underneath. Miller with the triple cut. Gets lots of distance. And who comes through? But it's Thomas Duplay with another presence of mind D. We saw one for Goat earlier. There's one for Mephisto, keeping him in it.
Montréal qui s'accroche encore une fois. Belle initiative en défensive de Duplay. Il a bien anticipé. Bien lu cette passe. C'est ça même Duplay qui s'offre en cible à l'intérieur. Belle petite continuité. Je ne suis pas certain que Lemieux s'y attendait, mais il y a eu un dur contact sur le dos de Lemieux, le joueur de Toronto, aussi en voulant l'éviter, je crois, l'a accroché accidentellement. Ça s'est fait très, très, très rapidement. Lemieux just laying out to save that. I'm not sure he was expecting that pass.
I think what happened was, I mean, Lemieux, we kind of saw him decide that he was going to go over to keep the disc safe. So he did make a layout that was a little bit late, and it was a slow one. And I think Kelvin Huang had looked at him and assumed that he was going to catch it standing up. And then by the time he had finished looking at the line on the disc and looked at his check again, it was, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I'm going to run into him. So the observer's coming in and saying, hey, that's just a misfortune.
Yeah.
There was no decision made to make that unsafe. That just happenstance.
Montréal toujours en possession du disque à la hauteur du point de brique. Le mieux, on cherche une option. Commence à se faire tard. Daigle qui maraude en soutien. Daigle avec une belle passe à Bernard. Contourne sa marque. Bernard feinte. On est à moins de diverge à la zone de pointe. Montréal qui doit absolument inscrire un point en offensive. Elliott, Édouard, sans hésitation, attrape cette passe. Et une milliseconde plus tard, engage avec la passe du côté droit pour alimenter Bernard. Montréal, toujours en vie avec ce 10e point. Tir de l'arrière par 4. Goat qui sera en offensive pour la médaille d'or de ce championnat Open canadien.
1 point is all Goat needs to take that aforementioned medal. We'll see them chill out. They've got lots of personnel that are going out into the O-line to support them. We've got players helping each other out. I mean, Adam O'Donnell, best sideline helper player. He's like, bro, the field's pretty muddy up there. Take a look at your cleats. And then took a look at him. Comire and just said, that certainly will not do. We need our main handler to be able to cut. But that is the kind of support this team has. You know, it's not just riding your 7 O-liners you have out there all game. Everybody's involved. Everybody's like, I'm going to help you succeed. Goat has just come away with everything that has been contested has gone their way. Maybe 1 or 2 layout passes that Mephisto was able to convert, but they've just been solid. They'll set up in a split stack. The strike's not there, so they go around to Wilkie Lewis. A little contact on the catch against McRae, but he doesn't care as he flips it to Zlatić. Zlatić is mad, and I would be too on Raphael Lalonde Landry's kind of mac on the disc. It was never out of his hands, and he felt Lalonde Landry had it in his hands. Mario Zlatić reacting to say, you can't rip it out of my hands. That's cheating. So, I mean, it's a foul. It won't be contested. But what that does, it's not great for Raphael because it leaves him right there, totally out of position on a defender. Zlatić is able to punish that with a throw over to Segal, the OI. Wilkie. One of the 2 Lewises on this O-line. Trying to get it for Zlatić. Zlatić taking a lot of body contact. Murray is able to come underneath from the front of the stack as Goat has fallen into a vertical set. Segal. Looking for the short thing. This is where the O-line for Goat wants to play retention ultimate. Keep it alive and look for that moment. But we've also seen them take the shots. They aren't afraid to throw a hammer. Segal's running out of time. And there is, well, I saw a signal for a pick. I'm not sure where it occurred, as all eyes are on Segal at this high stall count, coming in at 7 or 8 high. Nevertheless,
Toronto, Comire was asking Segal to take a timeout, but he did not.
Zlatić. He and Comire play a little pass together. Wilkie Lewis up the line, blows a tire, gets right back up. Goat, 3 yards out from the end zone. They'll flip it back around to flip the field. Segal all the way across to Comire. Comire has to piston to get that on the end zone line. To Wilkie Lewis. Goat wins at a score of 15-10. Goat having to take the hard road after a few losses in this tournament, battle their way back into the final and win emphatically as they just clicked on every level, Etienne. They had just everything go their way in this game.
Offense line by Toronto not getting broken in this men's or this open division final. How impressive is that? But on the other end, they were able to score 4 break point. What an amazing display of chemistry amongst those players. And congratulations for the Toronto representative for this amazing gold medal. And also, félicitations à Mephisto là, qui a connu un tournoi extraordinaire. Ils subissent leur seule défaite et c'est en grande finale contre vraiment un adversaire de taille qui a joué, a été parfait en offensive. Il y a eu quelques revirements, mais ils ont été à chaque fois capables de le reprendre. Mephisto incapable de solutionner la ligne offensive torontoise. Et c'est une belle victoire des Torontois, 15-10, s'octroyant ainsi la médaille d'or de ce championnat Open canadien édition 2025.
We, from the Media 10, all of us up here want to thank you for joining the stream and engaging on the live chat to let us know what we're getting right, what we're getting wrong, asking questions and being part of the action. Etienne, it was a pleasure. We had a great week. So Etienne Fournier, Clayton Howlett, had the pleasure of calling this for you. Cameraman Les, producer Sarah, drone flyer Liam, producer Kat, G, and Tyler want to thank you for being with us this tournament. And that concludes the broadcast. See you next year.
Stage to keep possession.
Huge bid, gets the time.
Great opportunity for the Germans, and they break with ease.
Throw it the full 80 yards to the field. Are you kidding me?
And an incredible catch.
You are kidding me.
Oh my God!
One of the